This is going live here. Hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I'm here with one of my top students, Hyungwoo. He has been my student for about 5 years, and I'm very proud of him because he went to America and he became fluent in English, and you will hear him in just a moment. You'll hear his English. But again, he was my English student back in 2016. I helped him to go to America. And once he got to America, of course, he really started to learn English. And we'll talk about that a little bit today. Anyway, Hyungwoo, quick introduction of yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Hyungwoo Jo.
Okay, look at the camera.
My name is Hyungwoo Jo. I am from South Korea and I am currently in America, and Robin was the main genuine and authentic teacher starting from the and current status of my English journey. So nice to meet you, and it's my honor to be here today. Thank you.
All right. And this is the first live stream on my new channel here. So I'm just getting people here. So I don't want this to be about my perfect teaching ability. We'll focus more on you. Do you consider yourself fluent in English now?
I don't know the definition of the fluency, but I feel comfortable speaking English, and I feel more confident.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see that as fluent, that means I am fluent in English, then you can say so.
So when you say you're confident in English, that means you're 100% confident talking to native speakers, anyone in English?
That's correct.
Okay. And what about when you first went to America? How did you feel at that time?
When I first went to America, it was really challenging. I took an English test called TOEFL, and I went there, and I expected some difficulties, but it was a whole different level of confronting the actual Native American professors speaking in English, and different accents, different dialects, and different stories, different contents. It was really difficult, but I survived, thankfully.
You survived, yes. And if someone was about to go to America, what would your advice be to them on how to prepare for English?
Meet Robin.
If they cannot meet me, and they said, "Hey, Hyungwoo, I'm going to America. Can you give me some tips on maybe how to survive speaking English in America or maybe another English country?"
Yeah, obviously I'm not a certified English teacher, but I can share my experiences, and then you can consider those tips if you deem necessary. I first started English by interacting with pen pal websites called Interpol, and I started writing letters to make friends, and then create some interaction connections to find common topics or common interests of our hobbies or stories, and then I moved to
So you would definitely recommend they do that? Try to make pen pals and...
That helped me with aspects of writing and reading, because I am writing the letters and then I'm reading their responses. In English, I was taught to focus on 4 different aspects: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And that pen pal started with writing and listening aspects. And
Okay.
then, yep.
And then from there, yeah, sorry.
Yep, from there, I wanted to expose myself to listening and speaking, which is actual interaction. And then I decided to make in-person relationships that I can actually practice English in person. And that opportunity was possible in my school in the past, and then that's
Your school in Korea?
correct, my school in Korea, and that's where I actually got to meet you. And then also another friend who actually attended this video before, and we became friends, and they helped me, you helped me, and you recommended me to a speech club called Toastmasters.
Yeah, he went to a speech club called Toastmasters. That's in every country. I guess because of COVID, maybe Toastmasters is online, but if you can find Toastmasters in your country, that's a good way to learn English. Okay, let's skip ahead. I helped you. You got your TOEFL score. You went to America. What's it like first week in America and everyone is speaking English?
Yep. I thought I went to America to study, and then English wouldn't be a big factor because I passed this test called TOEFL, but that was the bare minimum at the time. Obviously, it depends on each individual.
You you speak very fast,
Okay.
and that's great. But my audience a little bit slower.
Understood. Yeah, just to share one story in my classroom, it was a politics class, and I was not able to follow the lecture with the professor's English pace and just the level of contents. So
you didn't understand the lecture. So how did you overcome that?
So I was frustrated for that first week, and I was hoping to survive the test, and I got to the first test, and the score was not satisfying, and I went to visit the professor, and
What was the score?
score was around 40-ish.
40%?
Yep, 40% out of 100. And I went to the professor because there was not a minimum criteria score.
It's a fail.
It's a fail, yes, thank you. And I went to professor. Can I record this lecture for me to gain a better understanding of the context, so I can process information and prepare for the text next time to be able to pass this class? He said yes, and then I recorded the lecture, and every day, at the end of the day, after those lectures, I sat down and I listened to lectures, recordings, and then I did dictation. So I listened, wrote a word by word, typing on my laptop, and I did it until I can understand. If I encountered any unfamiliar words or vocabularies or phrases or idioms, any slangs, I never ignored that opportunity to learn, to pass, and to be able to make that return on my educational investment.
Okay. That's a lot of work to do that. What about just casual talking with Americans, friends, and people not in the classroom?
Yep. The reality was we don't really care about the level of the range of vocabularies or how fast we can speak. When I'm speaking my native language, I speak actually slow. Now I speak English a little faster because I always use that. And the biggest challenging point for me was to be able to get to the natural accent of English. Each English word has a stress, For example, there is a word called person, which indicates an individual, as human being, and there is a word called a unit in mathematical term, percentage, we say percent, but the accent between two words is one is person, the stress is placed on the word e, and then the percent is stressed on the word, the second syllable of e. So
Person,
yeah,
percent.
person
Okay.
and percent. So when I was explaining something, I said, "Oh, that my test score was 40%." Then they thought, "Are you trying to say 40 people?" But I meant to say 40%. So that's an example of many situations that I had to overcome.
So did you make a lot of American friends?
Yes, yes,
Did
many
you
great friends.
did you
Yes.
have any Korean friends?
Um, I have a few Korean friends, but in the beginning, I was mainly interacting with American friends just because of nature in the atmosphere, and then I did not intend to avoid that circumstance, but that situation helped me improve my English faster as I was more exposed to English use.
Okay. Okay, and do you still study English? I mean, the subject of English language learning. Do you still study that?
That's a difficult question. It's
Do you
I
study a grammar book?
no no
Do you study a slang book?
no. I never did, and I
So
never
there's
do.
no textbook. You don't no longer use any sort of textbook or anything.
Correct.
So, but you're just naturally learning new vocabulary.
I'm learning. I'm acquiring technical knowledge of a special subject in order to be an expertise in this specific profession.
Okay. Uh, Among speaking, reading, listening, writing, which one do you think is your strength?
I think. Uh, it's a difficult question.
All right, I'll switch. Which do you think you were weakest at?
It used to be the weakest area was speaking.
I don't think that's weak anymore.
Yeah, it was speaking because I never practiced that output. Because in my past English learning culture, we did a lot of input, which includes listening and reading, which are not really related with output, including speaking and writing. Um, right now, I feel comfortable with reading and writing, as well as listening and speaking.
So you have no weakness.
Uh, you could say
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Um, your journey. Every student has their own journey. Do you think you just have some, like, how did you improve so quickly? Do you think it was because you have some sort of natural talent for language, or do you think it's because of your hard work?
I would say I'm not necessarily smarter or I am talented, but I never stopped ignoring uh, opportunities that I can learn. I didn't fear mistakes. I rather perceive the mistakes as an opportunity to learn and improve. And then I always shared my work with you mainly and other people around me. And there was my great uh, uh, the trigger that I can continue to learn. Yeah,
Okay,
hard work.
hard work. That's the easy answer. Yeah, do a lot of work, be diligent, and you can speak like Hyungwoo. And if you go to America, have you Do you have a lot of experience with British English?
No.
Do you have any British friends?
Yes.
When you hear British English, is it difficult to hear or listen to?
Uh, it's just a different. It sounds like different dialect. English is just English. It's a language where you just have different stress, different dialects. Um,
All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna. Okay, guys, we got some people here. If you have any questions, please ask. Hello, Jonathan, Uzman, Leila, Justina, Carlos, Anab here. Justina asks a question. What are you doing now?
Um, I am currently a flight instructor. Um, so I teach people to become a pilot. And I am also a master's program student in America.
So he's a flight instructor teaching new, because you got your pilot's license, or what do you call it? Just pilot's license?
Correct. I have a pilot license and I have a flight instructor certificate as
All
well.
right. So he teaches people to fly an airplane. And how many hours do you have up in the airplane yourself?
I'm usually flying with my students, and it depends on the weather. It depends students' availability, but I really enjoy working with my current occupation.
Okay. Mr. Piersba, good morning, and it's night here in Korea. Layla, what was the hardest thing you found it difficult through your journey of studying English?
Hardest part in studying English.
In your journey.
I think
I'm gonna speak from your stories that I know. It must have been like, as the story you told earlier. Layla wasn't here, of the lectures, because when you sat down in the classroom, the teacher starts speaking, and that's something you have to know. And then in your pilot training, there must have been some difficult part.
that's correct. It was really challenging for me to understand radio communications with
Radar communication,
radio
communication,
communications with air traffic controllers, with the ATCs.
So when he's in the airplane and he's talking to the airport air traffic control, they have a special language for pilots, and that was difficult. Can you give us a sample?
Yeah. So for example, right before we take off, we're waiting just before the runway, and they give a radio call. They give us call sign, and then you're on runway 17 left, clear for takeoff.
17 left, clear for takeoff. But how do they say it? They say it not clear.
They they are clear, but at that level of learning circumstance, there's so many things going on at the same time, and my focus is distracted, and then I wasn't able to do multitasking. So yeah.
Okay, Mr. Pyers Bibia, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. What's better ability to learn at first, listening or reading? I would, as a teacher, I would say keep the balance. There is no first. You're doing listening and reading at the same time. Do you have an opinion?
I agree actually with Robin. I always did all of those four at the same time. Listening and reading. They're when I'm listening, I'm actually reading, and when I'm reading, I'm actually listening. It sounds awkward, but that's what's happening in my head. So when I'm reading it, I'm simultaneously listening what my brain is speaking. at the same time. And when I'm listening something, my brain is actually also reading those things. So I think it's just part of the input process. And I would like to also say it's important to practice output as well, which includes speaking and writing at the same time.
Okay, CB asks, as a non-native English learner, should I learn British English or American English? Why? I'm going to answer that. CB, I would not recommend, if you're talking about accents, English is English. Wherever you learn it, English grammar is basically the same, and vocabulary is basically the same. There are a few differences for British or American English, but insignificant. For accent, it doesn't matter if you're learning British or American English unless you're planning to live in that country. So if you're planning to live in England, of course, a British accent might help you more than an American accent. If you're not planning to live in England or America, you really don't need those accents. English is an international language with hundreds of different accents. Layla asks, do you still live in the USA?
Yes, I do.
Yep, he's still in the USA. Are you American?
I am not an American.
Okay. Do you work as an English teacher?
I am not working as an English teacher, but I use English in my profession.
And yeah, he's a pilot trainer. What was your motivation? What was and is your motivation to do so hard, work so hard?
I will.
Is money your motivation?
It was not money that motivated me to study English. The motivation was for communication. I believe language is a tool to communicate with one another, and in order to communicate, I need to be able to speak, listen, speak, write, and listen. Correction: speak, listen, write, and I forgot the last one.
I wasn't listening to you.
Okay, those 4 core
Read,
skills.
write, listen, speak. Read, write, listen, speak.
Yep. And then motivation. It was my goal to achieve my goal.
You achieved your goal?
Yes, and I'm also in the process of achieving my goal.
Which one of your 4 skills you spent more time for it?
Layla, I will actually say I believe there are 5 skills. And then those 4 skills you meant is
reading, writing, listening, speaking.
Thank you. And then the 5th skill I practiced, which is what I spent the most time for, is thinking. It's helping me process with all of those 4 skills. When I'm able to think, I can speak.
Think in English?
Yes. When I'm able to think, I can think before I speak. I can think before I read. I can think before I listen. I can think before I write. And that's what I spent the most time for.
Okay, so his 5th skill, thinking, that is his superpower. That's really good. Good answer. No name D channels. Hyungwoo, can you give me some advice? I can understand when someone speaks English, but I can't speak English fluently. How can I speak fluently?
I think English, the level of understanding English is proportional with the amount of English.
You're using a lot of good IELTS words.
The more you practice, the more you will benefit. No name.
It helps to live in America. If you didn't live in America, could you speak this well?
I believe there is a limitation that I can further improve my English just by living in a non-native English-speaking country.
Yes. Sleepwalker, hello. This was an unplanned live, certainly unplanned. Snow has already come to Russia. Where you live in the States, is there snow yet?
Yes.
Yes, so there's snow in America too, and Canada. What do you do for increasing your English knowledge nowadays?
I actually don't necessarily study English anymore, but English is just a part of my life. I read, I listen, and I interact with English speaking people. Therefore, I don't do anything to increase my English knowledge, but I use English to increase knowledge of something else in English.
Okay, Sleepwalker. I don't know how long Hyungwoo has been learning English, but you sound without any accent for me, just perfect. Yeah, he's pretty good. Palevi, hi sir, and we have Jo Gun Hyung. Hi, brother.
Hello, brother.
Brother is watching.
Wait, I want to ask you a question, Robin.
Yeah.
Sleepwalker said, to him, you sound without any accent. It sounds perfect. Do you agree? You've seen me from the beginning, and then now I'm here as your special guest for your
Yeah,
live stream.
he's to me, Hyungwoo is fluent. So, what is fluent? He can be able to communicate whatever he's thinking or whatever information perfectly without mistake, and whoever's listening can understand perfectly. Yeah, he does not have a Korean accent, maybe slight, maybe like 1% or 2%, but not noticeable. And I think important part about being fluent is when he hears a new grammar structure or he hears a new word, he's able to acquire it very quick and use it himself in a quick manner. So yeah, you're fluent to me. Perfect? Are you perfect? Yeah, I would say he's perfect.
Actually, speaking of which, Sleepwalker, I don't think I'm perfect. When I'm speaking, I don't follow a lot of grammatical structures. I just speak as if I'm speaking my own language.
But when you're in America, do you think Americans follow grammatical structure? Did you notice
No.
them breaking grammar rules?
It's just a language we speak.
Yeah.
Nobody follows grammar when they're speaking language, but it's just because he said, "Am I perfect?"
Okay, so
yeah.
we can fight about being perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sleepwalker's a girl, female. Pallavi, Layla, what is your advice for anyone who wants to study English by oneself at home?
Is she asking you or me?
You. She's tired of asking me this question. Yeah. She's asking you.
Advice for anyone who wants to study English by oneself.
At home. They don't have a chance to go to English class. They don't have a chance to go out and meet foreigners. They don't have a chance to use their English. They're only at home.
Understood. Layla, I think if you're currently able to access this live stream, I presume that you have access to internet and online information. Therefore, maybe I would suggest you can create some interactive opportunities with other people so that you can
She does. She certainly does. Layla is very active online. She's from Saudi Arabia. So she's very active. I think, Layla, you already know what to do to improve your English by oneself at home. You just keep doing it.
I think you forgot the Layla's question on top.
Yeah, we got that. We got to move on. Sir, what is the most important thing to learn English? Pallavi. Pallavi's another student who's very eager about English.
I would say
That's a very general question. What is the most important thing to learn English? What would you say?
Persistence and consistency.
Persistence and consistency. Those are big words.
Basically, do not give up and keep practicing without taking a break.
What do you consider a break? A day, a week, a month? Just keep studying.
Yeah.
Never give up. Sleepwalker, nicely done. Hyungwoo.
Thank you.
Justina, which do you think more important, effort or having good brain? Effort or good brain? Do you think effort could win the good brain?
I was never really considered someone who has a good brain. I think diligence can supersede talent.
Good sentence. You're learning a lot of vocabulary today. Diligence can supersede talent. So what does that mean? Diligence can be more powerful as a tool to learn than talent.
Correct.
Gui from Costa Rica. Hello, I've been to your country. Sleepwalker, I was watching a Korean series, Mouse 2021, before coming here. Korean movies and series are fascinating. Do you watch any Korean TV or movies?
When I first went to America, I never did, but nowadays I watch sometimes to continue maintain exposure to Korean.
Did you watch Squid Game?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So, I'm not a Korean media fan, but I watched Squid Game. I think everyone watched Squid Game. But Mouse, have you heard of Mouse?
No.
No, I haven't heard of that. We're in Korea now. He's Korean. We don't know that. We're not the people to ask. Layla, how much do you feel English helps you through your life?
I feel, just to directly answer your question, Layla, I feel it helped a lot. My life is currently in a situation that English is imperative. It's a must for me to survive, to achieve my goal. Therefore, I would say English was a tool for me to achieve and get close to my goal. Therefore, I put a lot of effort and persistence and consistency. Therefore, if that is a part, you share the common interest of the same topic, then maybe you can take some tips from my experience.
All right. So your cousin Jo Yoon Hyung, thanks for your kind feedback for my poor essay. Nowadays, I pretended to be a baby because babies swiftly learn a language. This tip is from the linguistic professor in SNU. How do you think? I'm not sure how you pretend to be a baby. Yes, adults have a more difficult time learning language because usually they already have their first language to interfere with the learning. Babies have nothing. I'm not sure how you can pretend to be a baby. I haven't seen any research on that strategy. What do you think of that? Pretend to be a baby.
I actually really agree with Yoon Hyung, who is my family.
Enlighten me. How do you pretend to be a baby?
So when I actually get these questions a lot. How did you study English? How did you learn English so fast? And I get this impression as if they're looking for some kind of magic box or magic key to open this this Pandora box that they can expedite my English learning. When I say when I get that kind of question, I answer this. how did you speak your first language? For example, I'm from Korea, and then someone asks me, how did you study English so fast? And I asked them, how did you speak Korean? How did you learn Korean? We never went to any other specific school to train or learn Korean language. But when we try to learn a second language, we do that. When we acquired, at least for my situation, when I was learning Korean, which is my first language, I was exposed to all environment, including English speaking, writing, listening, and what's the last thing?
Yeah, speaking, listening.
Okay. Yeah, so I did the same thing. I applied the same principles into my English journey. On top of that, I added thinking. So I can see the point what he says that pretend to be a baby, as we're not trying to learn as a structured way. In order to pass a test, there's a skill and there's a
I don't know. I
standard.
don't think I would label that as baby style. Because how babies learn an language, I'm going to go against the SNU professor. How babies learn a language is very different and very unique. Their brain is blank, and usually mothers are using a special speaking way. Hello, hello, repeating, repetition, soft voice for years. And as adults, if someone was trying to teach you like a baby, you would be like, hurry up.
Yeah, I have the point, but I think the intent of the statement. Of course, I don't have any education from any specific official peer-reviewed research or any articles. But I think the intent
I think
was.
I think instead of using the term baby, just acquire the language naturally instead of direct study might be.
Yeah, so I think we agree with that. But
All
not
right,
as it's
let's
baby.
move
Yeah.
on. Pilates. I like Squid Game 2. I said we watched Squid Game. I didn't say I like Squid Game. Did you like Squid Game?
Uh,
I was not so much of a fan of Squid Game.
it's a violent movie, so I think it depends on what your preference of genre you like.
When you meet any Korean people in the USA, do you speak English with them or in Korean? Ooh.
You actually asked me this question before, actually many times. Um,
Because it's an interesting question. Because
yeah. What do you think, Layla? Um, so my answer is I start speaking in English because I'm in America and I do not assume that their first language is Korean or English by their appearance. So I start speaking English. I use in English, but if they want me to speak in Korean, then I use Korean. But my start is to speak in English in the first place.
all right, you had got through an amazing journey and struggle, Justina. Sir, can you please tell me in how many years I can learn English?
I will actually redirect that question to Robin. How many years did I take from the beginning to?
There's so many factors. It depends. It depends on your age, how diligent you are, which country you're living in. Everyone has their own journey to take. So, but from our talking, we learned that from Hyungwoo, hard work and diligence helped him, and never giving up and keep going. So it can take a few years, 1 or 2 years if you're living in America. But if you're not living in America, you can get to a very high level. But I'm going to agree with Hyungwoo. There are limits. So just do your best. Keep going. Gui, baby toddlers aren't afraid to make mistakes. Yeah, so if your cousin was in that aspect, babies are not afraid to make mistakes. So you can copy that part of a baby, not afraid to make a mistake. And Justina, your voice is very good, Hyungwoo. Justina's saying a lot of nice things about Hyungwoo. Amazing journey, nice voice.
Special thanks to Justina.
Gui, I mean, I was talking with a 4-year-old like girl, and we both made mistakes. So you're speaking in English to a 4-year-old, and your English was the same?
Actually, there was a saying that I heard this saying: stupid people don't learn anything because they pretend they never made a mistake. So I think it's not about making a mistake. It's about whether we're going to learn from the mistake.
Okay. Have you talked to American children?
Yes, of course. They're really lovely.
Any communication, because they're going to speak a very different language, like pre-English.
I mean, they're babies. I don't perceive them as my English partner for me to practice. They're just, I used to be baby too.
Sir, I don't know English very well, so what should I study first?
There are lots of videos in Robin's channel.
Study everything, every day. Wherever you can find English, speaking, reading, writing, listening material, you use it every day. Where do you start first? Everywhere, wherever you go, whatever material you like. Gui, wow! Oh, you're gonna give Pallavi some.
Yeah, Pallavi. I think I can share this experience. So earlier today I mentioned that I started using a pen pal website. So when I didn't know anything, how did I start communicating with people? I went to a dictionary
write
website.
it out here. You went to Interpals.
Yep. I went to a dictionary website, and then I searched any word that I want to use for that communication. And I found this a structure of a sentence. So you can click, do you want to see a meaning of the word you searched, or do you want to see an example sentence of the word? And then I click the sentence, and I use copy and paste the sentence, bring it in, and I know what it means by looking at my native language in the translation, and I just swap over specific words for me to speak adapted to the situation. That's the initial action that I took, and then I kept repeating that pattern, and I was able to notice some kind of pattern in the sentence. And then in a book we say grammar, but I just picked up those patterns, and then I was able to now use it without.
So Interpals and the dictionary. That was where you began.
Yes.
That was his beginning. Do you make friends with many foreigners because of your English?
I think it's not really about my language. It's about more of the person.
Oh, you're full of wisdom today.
Yeah.
He's very wise. I think you're only making English-speaking friends these days. Are you making Korean friends? Your future is English friends. Like, you have to go to weddings and...
If I go to wedding in Korea, I will have Korean friends. If I go to weddings in America, yes, I will have American friends. So I don't really confine myself within either English or Korean people. I don't really define or categorize people by language, I would say so.
Yeah. How many languages can you speak?
I can communicate up to the communication level, just English and Korean.
And I listen English every day. My listening still is very difficult, but I don't give up. Gui, that's all. You just keep going, Gui. Keep going. Is that better than Wiktionary? Because Wiktionary has scarce examples for some words. Yoon Young, your level is already beyond the dictionary. You should focus more on reading real articles or things like that to learn vocabulary. I never use the Wiktionary or advise Wiktionary.
What is Wiktionary?
We can show you quickly. I'm just showing. You just type in a word, particle. It gives you the breakdown of the word.
Oh.
Yeah, Yoon Hyung. I use Oxford Dictionary myself. I don't use Wiktionary.
Yeah. When I first used a dictionary, I used the translation as well because my level was not there to even understand the dictionary.
Learning any skill needs extra effort and time to reach the goal. Yes, Layla. I think you've reached your goal, Layla.
Learning any skill, learning any.
Each subsequent language that you learn is easier to learn, I noticed. Ooh, I don't know about that, Sleepwalker. After you learn English, have you thought about learning another language?
I have not.
But she says each subsequent language that you learn is easier to learn. So if you start learning Spanish or something, maybe that'll be easier to learn.
As Layla said, learning any skill needs extra effort and time to reach the goal. And I don't have any intent to learn any new language at this time, as I need to distribute my time efficiently.
Pallavi, thank you, sir, for answering me. No problem, Pallavi. Okay, we're out of questions. All right, we'll wrap it up. Thanks, Hyungwoo, for this quick interview. I think you gave a lot of important information and tips to the viewers, more than me. When will you come back to Korea? He's just visiting now. When do you plan to come back?
I'll text you when I'm back.
Maybe a year later we can do another live stream. Thanks for everyone who's watching, and you watched until this far. Thanks a lot, and say goodbye.
Thank you for all the questions, and it's my honor to be here. Thanks to Robin as well for your teaching and also today's invite. So I hope to see you all next time again.